Thank you for joining this year's A Voice for Peace event. Back in 2016, when we began this idea of using choirs to talk about peace and to talk about nonviolence, we found that lots of people believed that peace was elusive. Matter of fact, they thought that a world without violence was impossible. A world without hunger was impossible. A world without injustice was impossible. And so we decided that we would use the arts to reimagine a world where peace was actual reality. One of the quotes that I used to use when I talked about A Voice for Peace was a quote of Muhammad Ali. He said, "Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing." And I think through A Voice for Peace, we have chosen to say that a world of nonviolence is not impossible, and a world without hunger is not impossible, and a world that is filled with justice and there is lacks in justice is not impossible. And so that is what A Voice for Peace has meant to me for these past 4 years. It's been a wonderful journey to take with Ken Wakia. And now Ken's going to tell you a little bit more about how A Voice for Peace came into being.
It gives me such joy speaking about something that is so close to my heart, and that is the power of music in breaking cultural barriers and bringing about peace. And so in 2015, when the Nairobi Chamber Chorus toured the United States under the invitation of Festival Singers of Florida and our very good friend, Dr. Fenton, one of the stops we made was the University of Mississippi, hosted by Dr. Don Trott. The Nairobi Chamber Chorus walked upstage singing an African prayer for peace, Ugutula. And something instantly struck me as I looked into the audience and as I listened to the quiet in the audience. I could read a united emotion, and that everyone in that hall was united in thought, and that thought was praying for peace in the world. And so I immediately wondered, what if the whole world would have the same reaction? That the whole world would one day in a year stop and just lend its voice for peace in the world. And that's when A Voice for Peace came into being. I turned round to the audience and announced, we shall start this movement that would bring the world to think about peace, that we would like to rally people around the world to lend their voices for peace. And so the following year, Dr. Fenton and I thought, why don't we give it a go? And we started the process of coming up with a documentary, A Voice for Peace. And 5 years down the line, we still look back and have the same thought. What if the whole world would lend its voice for peace? Everyone, wherever you are, in September, on the World Peace Day, if you just stopped for a moment and used your voice, sung about peace, spoke about peace, prayed about peace, or just said something to your friend about peace, what a wonderful world that would be. I do welcome all of you to stop on World Peace Day and lend your voice for peace.